Man, this gun sucks. If only I could see the pores of my enemies without having to get closer to them. Oh, wait a minute. What's poppin', gamers? Today we're going to be talking about scopes, and FOV, and aspect ratio, and how they interact with each other. Welcome to the... Fair warning, this is going to be a very numbers heavy video, but I'll try my best to keep the practical information accessible, so you don't need a physics degree to understand how game work. To quickly go over the basics, field of view is measured diagonally, meaning this is what you're changing with the FOV slider. When you ADS, the scope literally just reduces your FOV. There's literally no difference between 90 FOV while ADSing with a 1x, and 81 FOV. All aspect ratio does is cut an equal amount off both sides of your screen, and turning off widescreen letterbox takes that cropped picture and stretches it out to fill the rest of your screen. Turning on widescreen letterbox is complicated and annoying, so I'll just post a YouTube short that explains it to not bloat this video, link in the description. Now you might be asking yourself, why should I care about any of this? Because FOV changes a lot. If I have a higher FOV, say 83 for example, I could see this guy. But if I have even 5 degrees less at 78 FOV, even if he was wide swinging me with a shield, I wouldn't be able to see a pixel of it. But if I'm sitting in the back sight, say a smoke for example, a guy sitting on the other side of the map is going to be 5 times harder to kill with 90 FOV as opposed to something like 60. Or if you just have an ACOG. So finding the right balance to hit of having just enough zoom to take gunfights further than 10 meters away, but not too much to be unable to notice the 3 shields about to take your human rights away is a very important balance to strike. Now on to scopes. This is gonna be the part where numbers are gonna start flying, so like, fucking deal with it, boys. Fun fact, not a single scope that has been in the game for the last 3 years has been labeled correctly. And it's probably even longer, I just didn't check any earlier. First, you got your 1x's, which if you're paying attention to the FOV description, is not a 1x. It's a 1.111111 times zoom. 2.5s are wrong too, the closest to a 3x. Same with 3.5s, which are literally the exact same as the 4x from when Glasnoscope was considered one. Colors 5x and 12x are both wrong, and even the 1.5 from year 8 is blatantly mislabeled. Here's what their actual zoom levels are, rounded to the nearest second decimal, but I just want to point out how close every single scope is to being basically a tier up from what they claim to be. Shoot, the 1.5 was literally exactly a 2x, no rounding needed. Also, here's the FOV you get with each of the scopes, old and new, starting from 90 FOV. Now on to FOV and aspect ratio. As mentioned before, FOV affects your diagonal field of view, and aspect ratio affects your horizontal field of view. That means that there's no direct way to affect vertical field of view. But notice I said direct. If we do a little bit of math, you can change your FOV and aspect ratio to change said vertical field of view. This allows you to make enemies look shorter or taller, and with that, you have every tool unlocked to pretty much completely control what you're looking at. So, on to how to manipulate your screen. If you don't have enough peripheral view, raise your FOV. If the enemies are too small overall, lower your FOV. If the enemies aren't wide enough, decrease your aspect ratio. The closer the numbers are to equal, the wider the image. If you want more horizontal field of view, but don't want to make everything that much smaller, raise your aspect ratio. And for the most number heavy one, if you want to make the enemies shorter or taller, here's a chart on how to do that. 16:9 is the starting point for all of these. Let's go over an example real quick so I don't have to spend 5 hours making a conversion chart for each and every edge case. I can't exactly imagine anyone using 5x4s just dying to change over to 19:10. Say I use 71 FOV at 16:10, but I just really hate how tall the enemies are and I can never see the vertical play without looking directly at the ceiling. What do? First, take your FOV and convert it to 16:9, which from the chart, you would multiply it by 1.08 to do this. Next, probably one of the most difficult steps, we're gonna need to open the calculator app. Hell yeah. Now, we simply plug our numbers in, take 71 and divide it by our conversion number. Take the result, then multiply it by our new aspect ratio. In this case, we'll use 4/3. That'll leave you with a really big decimal number, but just ignore it and try 82 and 83 to see which one's better. It's not going to be perfect, just real close enough, which is all you should be looking for. I hope you see now why I wasn't going to do that all myself. It's not very hard, but doing that upwards of like 30 times to save people like 20 seconds is just not a good use of my time. I'd rather start working on a different video. So now you know way more about field of view than 99% of the population. I hope you find the opportunity to bust this out the next time you're trying to pick up a girl at like a bar or a party or whatever. Sure, Alligator Pain is absolutely soaking. Ending title card time! So I finished editing this in February, right? I'm staring at the clock right now and it's saying 5:28 on May 28th, so yeah, I've been staying on this for a while. But it's out now, and I'm actually pretty proud of it 3 months later, which is a good sign. Also, as touched on in my last video, the original plan has completely changed. As of this minute, I've only completed 3 of the 5 originally planned videos, but I have finished the 4th, and I'm working on 8 other videos that will be out with the release of Siege X. They'll only be 3 to 7-ish minutes long, but they're guides on parts of the game new players often struggle with, which realistically won't be you guys' cup of tea, but if you get any of your friends into the game around then, send them over. And by the way, starting July 1st, I'll be settling into releasing 2 videos a month from then on, so hopefully that'll be sufficient. I work for myself, so if this actually does take off, I can spend more time focusing on this, but if not, I'll just keep this as a side project until it does. But on that note, gang, make sure to smash that like button, hit that like button, leave a like, show that like button some love, leave a like with your left toe, whack this video a quick thumbs up, punch that like button in the face. Only a small percentage of viewers haven't already liked this video. Run a 5K in the shape of the like button, click like button, rate this video 5 stars, subscribe.